Yo, what is up, guys? Delboy here. A bit of a random one. Evander Holyfield could return to the ring in 2020. Essentially, he is due to take part in a charity exhibition in Japan. And like I said, it is due to go down sometime in 2020. Now, when they say exhibition, I'm assuming that means it won't be an official pro fight, but we will see what happens there. Now, obviously, we've recently had the news that Nigel Benn is coming out of retirement to make a comeback for one fight, but Nigel Benn is actually fighting in an official pro fight. Now, we are yet to hear whether Holyfield will fight a pro fight, but I feel the same way about it as I do Nigel Benn. Ultimately, listen, these guys are their own men, and they are grown enough to make their own decisions. They've been involved in boxing pretty much their whole lives, for decades now. They know the risks, they know the consequences, and ultimately, if they are sound of mind, then it's their choice, ultimately. That's how I see it. If they can pass some type of medicals and they are, in a decent enough condition to fight, then I say go for it. I mean, ultimately, who am I to say, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Ultimately, these two men are grown men, Nigel Benn and Evander Holyfield. They are perfectly aware of the risks involved and, they are prepared to take said risks. So, listen, it's on them ultimately. It's their choice, it's their decision. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. Will the likes of Nigel Benn and Evander Holyfield, cause kind of copycat occurrences of other older fighters coming back for one last fight or an exhibition fight? Will that be the case here? I mean, potentially, but is there a market for it? Is there an audience for it? Are people really interested in seeing these old boys fight again? I'm not so sure, to be honest with you. Obviously, Nigel Benn versus Saki Obika is on pay-per-view in the UK. Now, the pay-per-view is on some obscure app nobody's heard of, so I don't think it will do well in terms of pay-per-view numbers, but I wonder how it will do in terms of the live gate. Will people be interested and go to see that fight, sorry? I mean, who knows? Me personally, something tells me there's no real desire from the public to see these old guys fight. Maybe Nigel Benn, you'll get a few people go to see it out of curiosity, but I don't think it's something that's really sustainable, and I think that will be apparent fairly quickly. So I don't really expect other fighters to follow suit and, come back in their 50s and do something similar. I just think these are two isolated examples. I don't really see other guys doing the same thing, because from afar, I think these guys will see, mainly in regards to Nigel Benn, because obviously Holyfield's an exhibition, but in regards to Nigel Benn, I think other older fighters who may be thinking about doing something similar, they'll look at the Nigel Benn fight, and when it flops, because I think it will flop, I believe that will put a lot of these guys off coming back. And, that's how I see it from that perspective. But if they want to do it, like I said earlier, who am I to really say, no, you can't do it? Unless they are completely medically unfit, then in that case, yeah, you shouldn't allow these guys to fight. But, Evander Holyfield, yeah, he's a fit dude. He's still in good shape. Doesn't really live a bad lifestyle. He's, he clearly still works out and whatnot. Same goes for Nigel Benn. These guys aren't the average 55-year-old or 57-year-old. So from that perspective, I mean, I guess they should go for it, right? Like you only live life once, so why not? Why not? If that's what makes them happy and they genuinely want to do it, then go for it, I say. Life's too short, man. Life's too short. But, on the flip side, if something bad does happen, that's a black eye for boxing, and it gives the banned boxing brigade something to use to strengthen their argument, I guess. So listen, I see both sides to the story. I see both viewpoints in regards to old guys coming back. I'm just not one of those people who like to really kind of dictate to somebody else how they live their life. And I'm a believer in, your decision is your decision. And if you're sound of mind and can make your own decisions, then you should deal with the consequences. That's just how I see life in general. But yeah, share your thoughts below. Peace.